If the power grid goes down, you don't notice the danger immediately. At first, it's just darkness. But within hours, elevators stop mid-air, water stops flowing, phones slowly lose signal, and within days, entire cities begin to break down. Not because people panic, but because the system they depend on was never built to stop. And once it does, it doesn't come back the way you think. The first night. The first night feels almost calm. Cities don't go silent, they change. The constant electric hum disappears, replaced by something thinner. Footsteps, distant voices, uncertainty. Traffic lights fail. Intersections turn into confusion. Subways freeze underground. Thousands are trapped in tunnels with no clear way out. But the real problem isn't what you can see. It's what quietly stops working in the background. Water. Nearly every urban water system depends on electric pumps. At first, nothing happens. Then one tap runs dry. Then another. And suddenly, clean water becomes a countdown. And then, the silence starts to spread in a way no one expects. It's not just water anymore, it's everything connected to it. Hospitals begin switching to backup systems, but those don't last forever. Cooling systems in data centers start to fail, and with them, communication begins to fracture. People stop trusting what they hear on screens because updates come late or not at all. In apartment buildings, residents gather in stairwells, trying to understand what is real and what is rumor. Some think it's temporary. Others already feel it isn't. Outside, the city feels different now, not destroyed, but paused, like a machine holding its breath. Emergency sirens echo, but even they sound weaker, as if the city itself is running out of voice. And somewhere deep in the infrastructure no one ever thinks about, pressure keeps dropping, minute by minute, unnoticed by most, until it can't be ignored anymore. Because at this point, it's no longer about inconvenience. It's about how long a modern world can survive when the systems it never sees finally stop answering back. 48 hours. After 48 hours, the system starts turning against you. Refrigerators warm. Freezers begin to leak. Food, what once felt like security, starts becoming dangerous. After just a day, much of it isn't safe to eat anymore. Supermarkets empty. Not because of panic, but because they were never designed to hold more than a few days of supply. Everything was built on constant delivery. And now, nothing is moving. Hospitals are still running, lights are on, machines are working, but only barely. Most backup generators are designed for 48 to 72 hours, which means they're already running out of time. Day 3. By day 3, something bigger happens. The system stops being connected. Cell towers begin to fail one by one. At first, messages are delayed. Then they stop completely. Calls don't go through. The digital world, which felt infinite, shrinks to nothing. Information disappears. Coordination disappears. And beneath your feet, fuel still exists. Thousands of liters of it. But you can't access it, because even gas stations need electricity to pump it. The resources are still there. You just can't reach them. Day 4 to 5. By day 4, the rules change. Hospitals stop treating everyone. They start choosing, not based on who needs help, but on what they can still power. Non-essential procedures are canceled. Critical systems are prioritized. Every decision becomes a trade-off. Water systems begin to fail completely. Buildings lose pressure. Upper floors go dry first. Gravity decides who still gets access. Waste starts to accumulate in the streets. Without collection, without treatment, it doesn't disappear. The line between clean and unsafe starts to blur. And the longer it lasts, the harder it becomes to reverse. Day 6. By day 6, something strange happens. The sky comes back. Without artificial light, the stars become visible again. The Milky Way stretches across the sky, clearer than most people have ever seen it. It's quiet, almost peaceful, but that's the illusion, because down here, everything that mattered is still failing. Industries are shut down. Factories sit silent. Some systems, once stopped, may never fully recover. Years of infrastructure reduced to inactivity. People move differently now. Distances shrink to what can be walked. Time is no longer measured by clocks, but by daylight. Even as the silence deepens, something ancient begins to rise inside people, an instinct buried beneath years of convenience and control. Communities start forming again, not around technology or systems, but around trust, survival, and shared struggle. The world that once depended on constant progress now learns the weight of stillness, where every small decision carries survival itself. Cities no longer feel like centers of power, but like empty shells holding memories of what once was. And in this new reality, humanity begins to realize that survival is not just about rebuilding the world, but about redefining what it means to live in it. Day 7. After 1 week, something shifts. The grid is no longer expected to return. It becomes memory. Emergency services operate in survival mode. Institutions lose structure. Communities begin organizing themselves. Small networks replace large systems. Water, food, medicine. Everything becomes local. Everything becomes limited. This isn't collapse. Not yet. It's something slower. A system unraveling, piece by piece. The power grid was never just infrastructure. It was a promise that somewhere, someone else was keeping everything running, keeping the timing, keeping the flow, keeping everything alive. And the moment that promise breaks, you begin to see the world differently. Not as something stable, but as something held together by systems you never had to think about, until they stop. And in that silence, people stop asking when things will return. Because the idea of returning slowly begins to lose its meaning entirely, as if the world they once knew has drifted too far to ever be reached again. Instead, they start asking a different question, a quieter question, but far heavier in weight. What do we actually build when nothing is coming back, when there is no version of the past left to wait for? Old maps lose their meaning completely, not just because borders have changed, but because the world they once tried to describe no longer operates under the same rules, the same systems, or even the same assumptions of stability. And slowly, almost without anyone realizing the exact moment it happens, humanity stops waiting for restoration, stops expecting repair, stops believing in a simple return to what was. A new normal being written in real time, without permission, without clarity, and without a way back.